Jingoro, the fox of Matsunosaka. Once upon a time in Matsunosaka in Nagasaka, there lived a fox known as Jingoro. He was the chief of the foxes and much admired by all his fellows. And in Shirogatani in Inokusa, there lived a girl fox named Osayo. And in Senbon in Yotsutsuji, there lived another girl fox named Kojoro. In the mountains around here, there lived any number of foxes, and every year on the night of the festival of Inaritaisai, they all gathered at the big pine tree in Matsunosaka to hold a grand shape-shifting contest. The day of the shape-shifting contest arrived. All of the foxes showed off their transformation skills. Soon it was Osayo and Kojoro's turn. Osayo had lost her mother, and Kojoro had lost her father, so neither of them had received proper shape-shifting lessons. They had mostly learned by watching others and imitating them, so even if they tried to transform into a girl in a beautiful kimono, there was always something that was not quite right. Osayo still had fur all over her legs, and Kojoro still had her tail. When the other foxes saw them, they held their sides in laughter and pointed and laughed and clapped. Ah-ha-ha-ha! Ah-ha-ha-ha! Jingoro, the chief of the foxes, smiled as he watched everyone transform. But he was saddened to see all of the foxes laughing at the two young ones' mistakes. I appreciate all of your hard work today, but there is one thing I would like you to consider. All of the foxes stopped laughing. Osayo and Kojoro did their very best, but they weren't able to completely transform. But I'll have you know, Osayo has lost her mother, and Kojoro has lost her father, and despite that, they didn't give up, but instead pulled themselves together and tried as hard as they could. That's certainly nothing to laugh at. All of the foxes listened closely to his words. We foxes have to help each other, encourage each other, and live together. All of the foxes nodded and reflected on what they had done. Thereafter, all the foxes helped each other, gave each other inspiration, and improved their shape-shifting skills together. The next year at the festival of Inaritaisai, the time of the shape-shifting contest had arrived again. Having polished their skills and strengthened their techniques, Osayo and Kojoro's transformations were truly a sight to behold. So beautiful! So skillful! All of the other foxes clapped their paws and praised their performances in turn. And so it happened that Jingoro became even more trusted and respected by his fellows as the chief of the foxes, and Osayo and Kojoro continued to compete with each other to improve their shape-shifting. However, being impressionable young foxes, they both fell in love with the young and reliable Jingoro, which caused a rift between them. This won't do. They are both such nice girls. No, it can't go on like this. What should I do? His heart began to ache from worry, and his fur turned white from the top of his head to the tip of his tail. So Jingoro decided to go with a wise old fox to visit Osayo in Shirogatani and talk with her. Osayo, you're a hardworking young fox. We're all inspired by how skillful you've become at shape-shifting. But Kojoro told me how impressed she was. She said she was struck by your kind-heartedness, and she even told me that she thinks of you as an older sister. Kojoro said that? That's how she feels? I'm older and should know better. I'm embarrassed. What should I do? Osayo fell deep into thought. The next day, so Jingoro went with the wise old fox to visit Kojoro in Senbon and talk with her. Kojoro, I know you had words with Osayo, but the other day I heard her praising your shape-shifting skills. The truth is, she thinks of you as her younger sister. Is that really so? I hated her because I thought she was being mean, but she thinks of me as her little sister. What should I do? Kojoro seemed embarrassed and fell deep into thought. Then, in the third year, all the foxes showed off their shape-shifting skills. Osayo and Kojoro were not to be outdone. Osayo transformed into a groom and Kojoro into a bride. They were both most impressive transformations, and they fit together perfectly. Hip, hip, hooray! Hip, hip, hooray! Clap, 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 clap. The cheers and applause of the foxes filled the air. I'm so happy. I'm happy too. Although they had bitterly hated each other, Osayo and Kojoro embraced and held each other's hands and shed tears of joy. All the foxes who were watching said, "This is how it should be." Yes, this is how it should be. And they each went back home to the mountains where they lived. Having seen this reconciliation, Jingoro's worries disappeared. He could find no words to properly express his feelings, so he stared up at the moon. The moon was bright and beautiful, and as full as Jingoro's heart. The end.